Okay, Martin, this is a great question. I need to do some conditioning work for my upcoming off season after a long powerlifting peak. I was thinking of doing some hill sprints or something similar. What would be a good way to periodise this?
Give this good old Raz as well, really.
A great way to periodise this is don't do hill sprints. So obviously powerlifting is a pretty intense sport. Lifting heavy weights, making big changes, training hard, training difficult sessions. And you want to go and do something similarly difficult or cool with your off season. Hill sprints aren't it for 90% of people. So hill sprints have a distinct advantage over normal running in the fact that your loading of your foot, you don't tend to get a as high a reaction force with your foot landing on the ground, so you could be staying away from things like joint issues. You could be staying away from some stress fracture issues if you're a heavier athlete. So hill sprints are good for that. But for your off season, you don't need them. For your off season, what you need is to build work capacity in a general sense to start off. So it's generally some stationary bike work or normal bike work, some sort of rowing where you're kind of pulling fairly hard and the intensity level is quite high, and then some sort of high enough rep actual lifting, so squats, pulls, presses, whatever that might be. But the main thing is you start off with an aerobic base that's incredibly easy to do, and your sessions must be longer than 20 minutes. So you have to have, in order to actually train the aerobic system, you have to have prolonged bouts of exercise, and you don't get that with hill sprints. With hill sprints you get 10 to 15 seconds of working incredibly hard, then you rest, then you work incredibly hard, then you rest. That is for a different point of training altogether. That is for an interim period between an off season and an in season block. In your off season, if you've just done a long powerlifting peak, you're probably in bad shape. I would start by just getting on a bike, getting on a stationary bike, getting on a rowing machine, walking multiple times per day, and then making up your sessions mostly of that. You could start by doing some 400 meter runs, you could start by doing some 800 meter runs, a 5k once or twice a week. That's the kind of level of conditioning work you need to start at, not straight into hill sprints.
In one of Maydave's books, right, they're talking about cardiovascular work capacity stuff in the off season. So this was in regards to weightlifters, but they also did this for general athletes. What sports do you think they were talking about? So for everyone listening, I'm going to give it just 5 seconds before I'll give it like 10 seconds. I'll give Fitz think about it. So the Soviets, the R.A. Roman in one of his books said that this cardiovascular activity was great for all athletes in a general phase, and you'll just be like, what the fuck, when I tell you what it was. So it's a legitimate sport. I'll give you a hint. It's in one of the Olympics. Is
Cross country skiing.
Yes, well done.
Yes.
Well, I think it was downhill or cross country, but skiing was one.
Joe White.
He said it was great for athletes.
Joe White.
VO2 max thing.
VO2 max in cross country skiers is the highest of any Olympic athlete.
Did anyone get it? No, I've known probably a time because it's too much of a delay. Someone said rowing. Yeah, so skiing was one of the things. So Martin, when you're thinking about when we're doing this off season, it was kind of thing we talked about in our last live stream. We were talking about top sets. Is like, so powerlifters are like, no, I'm a powerlifter. I'm not like other athletes. My sport's much different. So instead of being like, say if you imagine concentric circles and we're in different phases, so we have like our off season, we have our kind of high volume hypertrophy phase and our peaking, our strength phase and peaking phase in the middle, that little circle. Most powerlifters go this circle, this circle, this circle, but you want to go all the way out here into the slums, out into the ghetto and these circles, and start running for your life for a little bit, and then slowly start calming down, you know, coming in the concentric circles, coming into your hypertrophy block. So you want to get, within reason, for a reasonable period of time, get as far away from powerlifting as you can possibly get away. Like we're talking like 3-4 weeks maximum, absolute maximum. 3 weeks would be a nice one. Like
I'd say 4 weeks.
4 weeks, go 4 weeks just to round it up.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, get away from powerlifting for 4 weeks. Just 4 weeks. Once a year is all you'll need to do this. Get so far away from powerlifting you don't even remember what a barbell in the gym looks like.
Yeah, don't wear your Juggernaut t-shirt.
Yeah.
Don't.
You put on your tap out t-shirt and go outside and fuck some people up. So get so far away from it, you know. The hill sprints, like Fitz are saying, are too close. They're too close to the conditioning aspect. Like they're too close to that kind of power thing. Like we're talking like so far away. Like just get away from powerlifting. Forget about it. Do something that feels so different to you. Like intrinsically in your head, you're like, what activity feels not like powerlifting. And that's 20 minutes on a rower, that's 30 minutes on a bike, stuff that's will benefit you in a stage you can't appreciate now until you go and do it yourself and have that different feeling once you've done it. And I get the hill sprint thing, because that was like the elite FDS, that was like the west side, it was like sled drags, all great things, by the way.
Great things, but not appropriately used in this case.
Like the prowler and stuff. Mostly those lads were like 180 kilos, so any kind of cardiovascular stuff would have murdered their joints, That's why they love the prowler and stuff. But for everyone else,
fat bastards,
really fucking get really far away from powerlifting, and it'll benefit you no end. Just for a few weeks, like let it go, bro.
If I was just to tell you a session to do twice a week, get on a rowing machine, find a pace that's almost conversational, so not that you could maintain a conversation the entire time you're going, but it's just above that. So if somebody came over, you'd be able to say, yeah, I'm just doing some rowing, and you can kind of go back into the cave. Get away from me. Get away from me. But that's the kind of pace you want, and you do 15 minutes on, 2 minutes off for 3 rounds. You can leave the gym in less than an hour, and you'll have some great... Are you responding to Eugene Poon's comment?